What is going on, guys? Eek, what is going on? Can you guys see me? Can you guys hear me? Let me know. What is going on, guys? Yo. All right, one second. It is way too bright in this room. Man, I was like, I don't know how I'm going to do this live stream this morning. It is way too bright in this room. All right, let's get right into it. So, first of all, I just want to say that for those of you that are not part of the Discord, not part of the mastermind, we are doing a free webinar, a free mastermind webinar, a free trading mastermind webinar on March 3rd. You'll see the link in the description. The link is also in the pinned comment of, oh, there is something wrong with my Instagram live, but the link will also be in the pinned comment of YouTube. So check it out there on the description or the pinned comment of YouTube. But you have to register. Spots will fill up fast. It's going to be Sunday at 7 p.m. EST, absolutely free. Just make sure that you are part of this wait list. Obviously, for those of you that are in the mastermind already, you don't need to worry about signing up to this. You will already see it. All right. Let us see what is what. 1 second. Cool. All right, let us see what is what. So VIX right now has popped a little bit pre-market. We are up like 1.5%. I'm looking at a VIX trade. I might talk about it here, but I don't want to go over it in too much detail right now. But there seems to be a VIX suppression caused by a certain short volatility trade. Like I said, I will get into the details once we dive more into the live stream and talk about more important things. But that is what I'm looking at right now. What is going on? Astro Geek Sonar, Cecilia. Cecilia says, so? No idea what Cecilia means. Cecilia, fill us in, if you will. Yavor, Nicholas, Wonder Bear, T Squarehead, Darius, L3G1T. Wow, man, that's too many letters and numbers for the morning. That sounds like a license plate. Duarte Machado, buenos dias. Ricky, what's going on? Ricky says morning Zaddy. Ricky, I don't know if I want that kind of greeting this early, but I'll take it. Thank you. Ciao from Germany, Stefano Fantuzzi. You sound like you're from Italy, but all right. Surf, what's going on? Bobby Asmar says Sabaho, what's going on? Mohamed says Sabah al Khair, what's going on? Jerry, what's cracking? Z, hit that thumbs up. How would you play NVIDIA? Oh, man. Didn't you think about this a year ago? Hi from Dublin, says Rehan Kazmi. What's going on, Rehan? Are you Pakistani? What's up from Nashville? It says Vaf. Morning from Amsterdam, says K. Julio Sarmiento. What's going on? Morning from Indonesia. Wow, I love that you guys hit me up from everywhere. All right. So CPI is coming out. Oh, actually, you know what? Let me make sure. that I have this going on and that you can hear this guy. Hold on. Can you hear this guy? This clown. All right. So here is what are we looking at for CPI. Good morning from LA, Lower Alabama. LA? I'm in LA. Oh, Lower Alabama? All right. No? Yeah, because I just turned it off. Okay, fine. I'll turn it back on here. I know you can hear this guy. You can't hear this guy? Okay, now you can hear this guy. Okay. What is wrong? No, you can't hear him? No.
When you're least expecting it, it would certainly make sense if that did happen. Professor, did you get Coach K's office in that one building down there? Is that open? Do you know?
Yeah,
You know which
that's
one I'm
his
talking
painting
about?
in the background. No, I did not get that.
We got it.
It's on
He's
top of
got a
that
much
tower. It's
nicer
the best
office.
office. It's the best office on the whole. Who's got that? Does he still have that?
Okay, cool.
Yeah, the glass dome, everything.
So CPI is coming out in 19 minutes. Now, here's the thing with CPI. This is the first CPI that is projected to come in at less than 3%. Now, why is this a big deal? This is a big deal because this is the Fed's target is what? 2%. And the whole time we've been hearing about soft landing, soft landing, soft landing, soft landing. As strong economic data has come in, it has been a lot harder for the Fed to actually stop raising rates. I went over this in my video yesterday. Shout out to you guys that watched it. If you didn't watch it, terrible. But in my video yesterday, I was saying that if you look at the expectations, right? The expectations now for March is that the Fed will hold. And that's because we got extremely strong employment data. We have strong non-farm payrolls. The economy seems resilient. If you look at everything from PCE to, every indicator that the Fed looks at, it all looks strong. And so the Fed has really no bandwidth to be cutting here because it would be too early. And so this went from just 19% chance a month ago to now being almost 85%. And even if you look in May, there was 0% chance that the Fed would hold, and now it's 41.7% chance because of that strong data. So all of this is because the Fed is trying to get inflation to 2%. Now, if inflation crosses that psychological barrier of 3% and now it is 2 point something, there is no other indicator that is going to do more to push the Fed's soft landing narrative than CPI at 2 point something percent. Any chance CPI is manipulated? Yeah, of course. But who cares? How's that going to help you in your trading? This is what I was saying. You have to go by, if you're looking to trade and invest, right? You have to go by the numbers that they're using, right? Like, you cannot just sit on a soapbox and be like, I declare the numbers are manipulated. Good job. What's that going to do for you? Nothing. So, obviously, we don't feel like inflation is growing at only 2.9%. We feel like it's growing at a much faster rate, especially, just if you anecdotally walk into any grocery store, if you get your haircut, if services are even up. It's not just products, but, everywhere you look, your local business who runs a service, even the person that does my garden out here, right? He came up to me and he said, hey, I have to increase by 10%. I have to increase the fee that I charge you per month to do the landscaping. And I'm like, no worries. But even him, right? He's feeling it on his end. So now he has to pass that on to his customers because things just don't seem normal. So yes, we can scream that the numbers are manipulated, and they likely are. They change the way that these are calculated, right? Looking back 1 year as opposed to 2 years, how CPI used to be. But that's not going to do anything for us as traders or investors. What is that going to do for you? You have to go past that and, learn to interpret the data the way that they are pushing it if you wanted to trade and invest based off of those numbers. That's all I'm saying, right? Yes, I agree they're manipulated. I agree there's no way in hell that inflation seems like it's only growing at 2.9%, right? Before COVID, the target was always 2%. So 2% inflation is what you expect, right? You expect the price of things to increase a small amount every year. That is something that's baked into the American financial system. It's on purpose. They want inflation to be very slight because that way they promote spending. If you, as a consumer, didn't think that prices will go up slightly every year, then you wouldn't be incentivized to spend. So that little bit of inflation that they try to engineer is caused so that you can actually spend in the markets, right? Got the pink eye, brother? Yeah, I got it from your mom. Tell her to change the pillow sheets. No, bro, it ain't pink eye. The lights are so bright in here. I wish I could turn the camera around and show it to you, but it's stuck to the tripod. The lights are so bright in here, and I woke up at 4:30 in the morning, and it's still only 5 in the morning here. So it's too bright, bro, for 5 in the morning. It's way too bright for 5 in the morning. I can turn these lights off, but then it would give you a terrible viewing experience. So I'm trying to accommodate. She sat on his face again. Yo, there's 600 of you here. You have to leave a thumbs up for that fucking joke. Bobby says she sat on his face again. Yo, I wish there was a reverse donate button. You know what? I'm gonna call up YouTube. I wish YouTube had a reverse donate button. Like, obviously, this is a St. Jude live stream, as every one of our live streams for 2.5 years has been. Every single one. I don't make money on any live streams. But I wish that there was a button where the creator can click the on the person and donate to them. Because fuck, bro, I will give. That's $100 joke right there, Bobby. Anthony says she's for the streets. Brandon, see what you started, bro? See what you started? You thought you were being funny saying that I had pink eye? Now you're getting torched. All right. So S&P 500, if you've been following this channel, you know that I thought there was a chance we would inch up to 5,000. SPX is now at 5,000, right? But this is not as, I would say this is not as rosy as it seems, because if we take a look at the S&P 500 minus tech, we are at all-time lows, and the last time we saw anything similar was 1999. Now, I brought this up in my video yesterday, but I was saying that 1999 wasn't when the S&P crashed. The S&P actually had a rally all the way to August 2000, where the rest of the S&P caught up. So if we take a look at certain sectors in the S&P, and if I was going to invest in the S&P, these are the only things I would invest in, right? If you look at utilities, absolutely beat up. Like utilities from all-time highs are still, 22% away from all-time highs. If you look at consumer staples, we're still at, 10% from all-time highs. Energy has gone up and down. It's definitely not at all-time highs, but even energy has a little bit of room to run. So really the only things in the stock market, 17% away from all-time highs. The only things in the stock market that are really rallying at all-time highs is healthcare and tech, right? If you look at tech is just, obviously surpassed all-time highs. And then healthcare, I think, is XLV, all-time highs. And that's really it. It's just healthcare and tech. So, if CPI comes in line today, especially if it's at that 2.9% number, guys, there's 650 of you here. Get this to at least 300 likes so that other people can find the stream. If we can get to this 2.9% number, then I think the S&P 500 will likely keep going up. It doesn't mean that we'll get it today, right? Remember that the first day's reaction is not necessarily the correct one. The market can go down today and up for the rest of the week. The market can go up today and down for the rest of the week. So please save me why is the market going up? CPI was bad. Why is the market going down? CPI was good. I don't want to hear that, okay? The first reaction can always involve a manipulation move, okay? But in general, if we get 2.9% CPI or lower, then I think over the course of the next few weeks, the S&P is going to keep going up, and we will see a rotation into some of those other sectors of the S&P. And I do think things like the Russell 2000, which I've been talking about nonstop since November, since here, and saying that, this was an index that the small caps are an index you want to invest in because it is near an all-time low relative to what the S&P and NASDAQ are doing. I think you will start to see the Russell 2000 continue to grow. Again, 21% away from all-time highs. And historically, when the S&P hits all-time highs, the Russell 2000 at some point follows. So it's going to be a battle between, stocks having a chance to continue moving up and something breaking in the economy. And that thing breaking, in my opinion, is likely going to be in the commercial property sector. And I went over this in my video yesterday, so I'm not going to belabor the point. You guys can watch that video from yesterday. But this is what I think. 755 of you, glad to have you. 7 minutes until CPI. Cannot wait. Now, in terms of how I'm going to be day trading this, you guys know I don't day trade options. Plus, you can't day trade options before market open anyway. So I am going to be looking for a manipulative move on the S&P 500 and on the NASDAQ, meaning there will be a move, then there will be a data drop, there will likely be a continuation of that move before you see it reverse to the other way. Now, the reason that I don't enter here, right, aside from the fact that it's a guess, but say that I thought that CPI was going to be good and I want to enter along, especially off of this fair value gap here, and I want to enter along here, right? The reason is because when CPI drops, you tend to see this. So you'll see buy stops get taken out and you'll see sell stops get taken out. So even if you guess it right, you're going to get caught in a whirlwind where your stops are going to get taken out. So I'm not looking to get caught up in that, right? So I'm going to be waiting until CPI drops. I'll wait another maybe 15, half an hour before I even look for a trade. That's how we always play CPI. All right. Wow, Tesla's just trading in this range here. Super tight range. J6, what's going on? What about your VIX play? I don't want to talk about VIX right now. Would that be leaps or midterm play? No, not leaps, but yes, VIX calls. What about gold? Gold is going to depend on what the dollar does, and the dollar is tied to interest rates, right? So if CPI comes in higher than expected, then what you're going to see in the dollar is you're going to see the dollar go up because yields are going to go up. If CPI comes in line or lower than expected, you're going to see the opposite. The dollar and rates go down. But the dollar right now is in this weekly fair value gap. So if CPI is good and we do get a drop in yields and the dollar starts falling, this can set up for a long in gold here. Now, I'm not going to lie, this pattern sucks. The only reason I would long this is because of what's going on with the dollar. That's it. Any thoughts on General Mills? Thoughts and prayers? Lazy questions get lazy answers, bro. You talking about a day trade, a swing trade, an investment, it's balance sheet, income statement, it's management team. Thoughts questions are literally the worst. Why does the market drop when Fed drops interest rates? Because Fed drops interest rates when things are bad. That's why, right? Like people are looking at things as causation. It's not causation, it's correlation. So the market drops when interest rates drop because interest rates drop when things are bad, right? The Fed doesn't cut rates when things are good. That's why. Thoughts are for the street. Hey, question about futures. Wow, that's an all-time crazy question right there. That's literally what it says. Question about futures. How would you guys interpret this? Guys, what would you do if you were in my seat? That's what would you even read these questions? I don't know. Would you read them? Or would you save your sanity? This dude literally says, question about futures. That's it. Amazing. Start drinking. All right. CPI in 2 minutes. In 2 minutes, my brothers and sisters. 2 minutes. Don't flame me for that. Hello from Brasilia. Carlos, what's going on? I've been to Brasilia. I think we talked about this, actually. With great power comes great responsibility and even greater headaches. Yo, you guys are on one today.
All right, welcome back to Squawk Box, everybody. This is CNBC, and we are just a few seconds away from January CPI data. We've been watching the futures ahead of that. You'll see right now the Dow futures are down by about 32 points. S&P futures are off by 15. The NASDAQ indicated off by triple digits, a loss of about 108 right now, and that's where we've seen things, at least for the NASDAQ, all morning. Also been keeping an eye on what to expect from Treasuries, and worth checking in ahead of the CPI number. You'll see right now the 10-year is now yielding 4.15%. The 2-year's at 4.45. Again, expectations for CPI, I think, are up by about 0.2%. But people watching this inflationary number that the Fed's going to be watching very closely as well. Get some hints of what they might want to do next. Rick Santelli is standing by at the CME in Chicago. And Rick, numbers, please.
Yes, January Consumer Price Index out in a few seconds. All yields are a bit lower, and here we're hitting the wires. Headline number expected to be up 0.2%, is up 0.3%. That's the hottest since SEP of 23 when it was up 0.4%. Strip out food and energy, even hotter, up 0.4%. Also 1/10 hotter than expected,
Whoa.
up 0.4%. Well, you equal that going to May of last year. You surpass it going to April of last year when it was up 0.5. The year-over-year numbers also hotter, 3.1 on headline year-over-year. We were expecting 2.9, but did make progress versus the rearview mirror, which stands at 3.4. Now, if you consider 3.1, we've already been there. We were there in November of last year, and we were at 3.0 in June of last year. Finally, CPI year-over-year core, I think one of the ones I'm paying most attention to, 3.9%, exactly as the recent month, December 3.9, 0.2 hotter than expected, and 3.9 is the smallest year-over-year change since it was 3.8 in May of 21. Now, I don't always hit some of these indices, but I think it's important to hit it today. If you look at the headline actual index for CPI, it's 308.417. Which means that if you go back to 1913, we've never had this index higher than it is right there. And if you strip out food and energy and you look at CPI core, the actual index, this one is seasonally adjusted. The headline is not seasonally adjusted. This one comes in at 314.43, by far the biggest it's ever been, going back to record keeping in 1957. So these numbers are hot. Interest rates have zoomed up. These are now representing some of the highest yields of the year by far. 4.28 in a 10-year. We see pre-opening equities, of course, moving lower. And none of this should be shocking. And this is a cautionary tale for those, especially Fed speak, continually annualizing 3- and 6-month rates as if it's set in concrete. This set of numbers shows that is not true. And the biggest tail risk of any traders that I talk to seems to be higher inflation. Becky, back to you.
All right, Rick, thank you. And folks, for those who are listening on the radio, let's just walk you through a couple of these averages that you're watching right now for equities. The Dow futures are now down by 280 points. S&P futures are now down by 54 points, and the NASDAQ has doubled, or more than doubled, its losses this morning, now indicated off by about 266 points. So, as Rick pointed out, yields jumping on this, equities, the futures dropping pretty significantly. This is a message that's coming through pretty loud and clear. You may have seen the markets ignore what the Fed has said in the past, but when you look at data, they listen pretty closely. Rick's going to stay with us, but joining us right now to talk more about the new data, we want to bring in Skanda Amarnath, who is Employ America Executive Director. Also, E.J. Antoni, Heritage Foundation Research Fellow, and our very own.
All right, you guys heard that. So inflation coming in hotter than expected. No way we hit that 2.9%. It was 3.1% year over year, 0.3 versus 0.2% month over month. Now, the big one for me was that core came in much hotter because core strips out food and energy, and that still came out much hotter. And the Fed said that they look at core more than they look at the headline. And that's a big deal. So as I said, if inflation comes in hotter than expected, yields are going to go up, which you see here. Yields are surging. The dollar is going to go up. Gold is likely going to go down. And equities, S&P 500, NASDAQ, whatever, is going to likely head downwards from here because that is not a good number. And it's not a good number, not just because this month it came in higher than expected, but because there doesn't seem to be a trend lower anymore, right? It's just going up and down, teetering at this low 3% area. And it's basically proves what, we've been saying all along, that once you get down to these incremental levels, inflation is going to be so hard to beat. I shared before data going back to the 80s, how it took 2 years to get inflation from 4% to 2%. That was back in the 80s. It took literally 2 years for it to get down. So, we are close. It seems like we are close to that 2% if we're at 3%. But, these incremental numbers, like going from 3% to 2% might be a lot harder than going, say, from 9% to 5%, right? When you're dealing with these big sweeps, you have a lot more ground to cover. You have a lot more, it's a lot easier to cover that ground versus when you're dealing in the increments and you're trying to push it lower. But, the closer that we get to that 2% number, the more enthusiastic people are. And so now the economy becomes stronger again, pushing inflation back up. That's why it's a lot harder. So that is what is currently going on. I don't know if I want to listen to any more of this before hitting the tape and looking at the charts.
Work through. So that might explain that in part, but that doesn't mean it's going to go away. As people renew, you'll continue to see some of that stuff.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. I think there's this general trend where it looks like, January is a time when they orient towards those price increases. Look, I would say the jury is out. I think the Fed has been right to be cautious here. They're the ones that told the market it's going to be a bumpy ride, that inflation does not run a straight line down, that it's going to be up and down a bit over time. So I think they had it right. What is good, as I pointed out in the 7 o'clock hour, is that the market and the Fed are closer together, or we're closer together coming into this number, with the Fed more skeptical, the market more exuberant.
All right, so we see the dollar surging. What did I tell you right before the broadcast? I said if CPI comes in worse than expected, the dollar is going to surge. Look at this. This is a surge in the dollar. Like, when was the last time you saw this in the dollar? Right? And it's because yields are completely gone haywire right now. Yields pushing up. Obviously yields pushing up on the expectation that the Fed has to do more here, right? Even though there was a little blip in the expectation that the Fed would actually start cutting in March. That lasted for just a little bit of time, right? I never thought the Fed would cut in March. I thought May was a possibility. And now if we take a look at it, I bet you that if you look at May, wait, did the numbers for May change yet? The numbers for March changed slightly. This is still updating. But the numbers for the probability of a hold in March has gone up. I don't see a change in May yet. I wonder if the numbers are still being reflected. But, inflation looks like it is. I don't want to say it's trending higher. All we're doing is bouncing, right? It will go better than expected, worse than expected, better than expected, worse than expected. And so getting down to that, that 2.9 level or below 3 is going to be so hard, right? So I'm not trying to make a bigger deal out of this. I obviously came in much hotter than expected. For me, the core is the one that is really the killer, because that strips out food and energy and leaves no excuses. You know, for the Fed or any economist to say, oh, yeah, but food and energy are volatile. Yeah, we'll take out food and energy, and inflation is still hotter than expected, right? That is the big one. But I don't want to make it a much bigger deal than it really is. All I'm saying is pushing inflation down to 2% is as hard as we thought it would be, right? And that's bearing out. So the Fed is likely not going to be able to cut as soon as they thought. Still, I'm pretty surprised. Again, this number's updating, so we will continue to look at this. But I'm very surprised if it ends up being this by the time the market opens, that 52% likelihood that the Fed cuts in May. I think this should go down as the day progresses. But yeah. Will this affect ZN negatively? Of course. ZN is a treasury futures. Why would ZN just stay put if rates are tanking? I mean, if rates go up, yes. The 10-year yield is going up, so ZN is going to tank, and you see that here. I got SPY puts. SMCI puts. Okay. So you just gambled and you're happy about that? All right. So gold got whipped. I just talked about this, bro. I said dollar will go up, gold will go down. That's what's happening. Yeah, Andre got it right. Oh, wow, 1,300 of you here. Guys, hit that thumbs up. Also, you see it pinned, if you're on YouTube, to the top comment. As I was saying, we're doing a free trading mastermind webinar Sunday, March 3rd. You do not want to miss this. It is absolutely free. You have to be on this list. Now, if you're already a mastermind member, don't worry about this. A lot of you, I recognize your names, are. So don't worry about signing up. But if you are not, and you are wanting to join a mastermind for free, a trading mastermind for free, and see how it is that we day trade. What is my strategy? How do we enter day trades? What criteria are we looking for? How do we draw our levels beforehand, etc.? Make sure that you sign up to this. It's in the description. It's also pinned in the comments here on YouTube. So make sure you join that. All right. Does the market look past this and just rationalize cuts a few months later? I don't think so, Ashley. I think it'll. I don't like. I think obviously the market needs a reason to, I don't even want to call it correct. I'm going to call it pull back, right? Maybe to that 4,800 level, I think makes a lot of sense. I haven't looked at the technical analysis in detail, but the market needed a reason to pull back to this 4,800 level, even without CPI coming in hot, right? But yeah, I mean, I don't think that this, until things start breaking, like in my view, I think the black swan for this recession is going to come from commercial real estate. That is my view. I could be wrong. Predicting recessions is very hard. I'm much better at predicting price levels on a chart. But that, based on what I see, that is where the tail risk is, right? Antonio donated $10. Appreciate you, man. Where do you think market will go end of week? I don't know. That's not how technical analysis works. I prefer no sunglasses. Who cares, Susan? Look at the information. Why do you care if I'm wearing sunglasses or not? I don't care what you prefer. There's literally two bright lights shining in my eye hole, and it's 5 a.m. here. Show some mercy on your boy. So yeah, in terms of where, like, what levels, I think, you know what, the SPY might be a little easier because I can read volume here. So if we pull up a volume profile, see, that 4,800 level on SPX coincides with around 476-ish on the SPY. And you do have a pretty big volume shelf here, right? Anonymous donated $50 to St. Jude's. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Thank you, Emmanuel. I would not be surprised by a drop to that 476 region. I think that makes a lot of sense, and you had a lot of consolidation here, right? So I think we can drop to that level, and I think that from here on out, the next Fed meeting is in March. We don't have earnings anymore, right? We do have earnings, but they are not of the mega cap flavor. Here, I'll show you what we have in the economic announcements section. So in terms of earnings, and I am going to be playing Robinhood, Upstart, and Coin. Those are 3 that I'm going to be playing. By the way, we are 5-4-5 on earnings plays for 2024. If you think that I'm lying, let someone in the Discord respond in the chat and tell you. We're 5-for-5 on earnings plays in 2024. And these 3 I have picked out, and I'm not going to be playing any other earnings. On the live stream yesterday in the Discord, I went through every single ticker, and I picked these for a reason, and I will talk about that. There's NVIDIA. Yeah, but NVIDIA is going to be third week of... Oh, actually, NVIDIA earnings are next week. Yes, you're right. NVIDIA earnings are next week. But the next Fed meeting is in March. I don't really think that I think that this is an amazing opportunity for a pullback, for sure. Given that the CPI numbers are worse, I do think that it's very easy to get to 476 on the SPY. I think that's a very easy number there. Best Discord community, no cap. What's up, Luis? I sold on Friday. Yeah, as I said in my video, you cannot be comforted up here. And it's not because, we're at all-time highs. What goes up must come down. No, none of that bullshit. It's because we are at peak rates and the market is at all-time highs. That is the deadly combination. It's not that the market is at all-time highs. Matter of fact, look at the monthly chart. The market routinely makes all-time highs without crashing. It's that we are at all-time highs at this juncture, right, with peak rates. That is what scares me. And, people can call me a fear monger. I'm not fear mongering. I'm as realistic as it gets. I'm one of the only people that actually on the YouTube finance space that will actually give you levels that I'm buying at. You watch all these other bullshit artists, Game of Trades, Maverick. They're just fear merchants, right? Like, there's no investment thesis. I'm actually looking at data in order to formulate a thesis, and I'm telling you where I'm investing. And if you agree, then you can follow along. If not, also all good, right? But the only reason I look at any of this stuff is to know what to trade and what to invest in, not to cause fear. It's all based on realism. And you guys that have been here for a long time know that. Do you know the date for the next Fed meeting? Yeah, March 20th. And then the one after that is May 1st. So when I say that I think that 476 level on the S&P, on the SPY, is what I'm looking at next, I'm not trying to cause fear. I'm literally saying that's where I'm looking at for the SPY to drop to. Now, in the Discord, I ended up selling calls on my SPY shares. I sold the 510 calls, which should be up insanely today. See, I sold the 510 calls expiring in March on my SPY shares. So I will be making more decisions today as to what to get into. The VIX is spiking, huh? I knew I should have gotten the VIX yesterday. I think the VIX will continue to go up here. It is going to be an ugly ride. It doesn't go straight up, but I think the VIX, I like hedging using the VIX at this stage, and I'll talk about that in a second why. Thoughts on coin. Thoughts and prayers. Thoughts and prayers, D-Striped. Lazy questions get lazy answers. Now, that 476 level there is a lot of volume there, right? It's the next big volume shelf. So I think this can slice right through to there. But you do have obviously all of this volume here. Now, this volume here was because of all of the buying that happened after the bottom of the correction in October. You had all of this institutional buying here. So yes, obviously the SPY can drop there as well. But I'm talking about the next level I'm looking at is 476. Am I personally looking to buy there? No. No, I'm personally not looking to buy there. I did my buying already. 365, 410. Those were my buy levels. I'm likely not going to be buying there. If we get to 450 or below, maybe I'll add, depending on what the market looks like when we get there. All right. I got 493 puts yesterday for 216. Again, just a gamble. You can't pat yourself on the back for that, bro. Like, you're going to celebrate, and I'm happy you made money, okay? And I want you to take your money, and I want you to enjoy it. But that's just a guess. That's not like a great trade. Because CPI could have came in line, and you would have been fucked. It's just a 50-50. So, that's... I learned a long time ago not to pat myself on the back for a lucky trade. Now, am I happy that the money's in my account? Yes. But I can't pat myself on the back and consider that a win when I'm looking at my profitability and tracking whether I made good trades or not. That's just a gamble, and you have to accept that that's all it is. Are you buying puts on Coinbase? No, I don't buy calls or puts for earnings. I don't guess like that. All of our earnings trades are well thought out. It's all based on the expected move. It's based on implied volatility. It's based on how often does the stock beat the expected move? How often does it meet the expected move, right? I'm always looking at asymmetrical bets here. So when I'm looking at earnings plays, it's because there's a stock that has asymmetrical stats. So on Coin, it says the options market overestimated Coin stock earnings 82% of the time. If you look at its last 12 earnings, Coin barely beats the expected move. So why would I buy options here? Right? I'm going to be playing a strategy that's in line with data. I never just buy calls or puts and then cross my fingers. And if it hits, I'm like, yeah, I'm such a good trader. And then the next 10 earnings plays, I lose. No. Not how it works. How is buying calls and options guessing? Because you're guessing on a binary event. You're not looking at, it's not like you're looking at a chart and, say that you set up a nice trade where, let me just remove this. Hold on. say that you're setting up a nice trade where you want to go short if we hit this level here, right? And then you set up a nice trade if we hit that level. You have a stop limit, you have a take profit, and it's based on data, it's based on levels, it's based on a strategy. If I just say CPI is coming out tomorrow, I'm going to guess puts. That is not the same thing, bro. And if you think that is, you need to start paper trading and not trade your real money account until you actually get a strategy. There's no way you could say that that's the same thing. That's just lunacy. How do you know what they looked at? Well, because today's a binary event, so it doesn't matter what you looked at. The outcome of your trade would be based on an uninformed position. It's based on data that has yet to come out. It's not based on a level. It's based on guessing whether CPI comes in better or worse than expected. Anyway, bro, like, go ahead. I mean, trade like that. You know what I mean? Trade binary events all day long. Go ahead. Don't find a profitable strategy. Just be lazy and randomly guess calls or puts every day. You think VIXy touched a bottom here? I don't trade VIXy. I just trade the actual VIX. What do you think on Hood? Thoughts and prayers. Lazy questions get lazy answers. What is your hedging strategy with news? With today's news? I already started selling calls against my shares. Not today. I started selling calls against my shares a couple weeks back. But it really depends on what your cost basis is and what you're in, right? Like if you're in semis and whatnot, and it's a shorter term trade, yeah, obviously you're gonna start thinking about taking profit. If you got in really cheap and it's a long term hold, it's hard to take profits because you will likely not get those prices back. Not finding a profitable strategy worked for Meet Kevin. Well, Meet Kevin, I mean, say what you want about him. I personally would not trade with him, but he is a fucking YouTube hustler. I don't know how he makes whatever it is, millions of dollars off of YouTube hustling videos. And you know what's crazy is his videos don't even get a ton of views. It's just so many of them. Like for a channel that has 1.4 million views, a lot of his videos get 20,000 views, 30,000 views. He just pumps out like 10 videos a day. That motherfucker's a hustler. But yes, no, I would not trust him with my portfolio, if that's what you're saying. I think ES can break this today. Is your base case a recession? Yeah, I think we get a recession for sure. When? I don't know. Nobody can tell you that. I think we get a recession for sure. And I'm actually curious to know if the 10-year rocketed up more than the 2-year. So the 10-year is up 2.5%, and the 2-year is up 2.79. Man, this yield curve is so freaking stubborn, man. How does CPI affect the market? Rewind the tape. I talked about it for the last hour. This yield curve is so stubborn between the 10-year and the 2-year. Once this uninverts, then I think we're going to be so close to a recession. Do you like some REITs for a long hold? No, I'm staying away from real estate as far as possible. I'm not trying to buy REITs right before a recession. Levels for IWM. I've been in IWM since November. Not sure what you mean by levels. Like, for what? Like, where I think IWM will go? IWM is back to where it was basically 2 weeks ago. Oh, actually, where it was last week. It's crazy. It can't crack out of this consolidation here. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of volume at the 185 range. It can certainly fall back to that. It can certainly fall back to that. But right now, I want to look for a freaking day trade, man. So the market opens in half an hour. Here's what we're looking at. Man, hindsight is 2020. It was a nice fair value gap here. This is a perfect ERL IRL trade. External range liquidity, internal range liquidity. So now what I'm curious about on the S&P 500 is, are we going to respect these daily fair value gaps or just slice right through it? What is Tesla doing pre-market? Oh, Tesla's doing a dance, man. Shit. Tesla does not like it when the 10-year goes up, because obviously cars are tied to interest rates, right? When you buy a car, and the higher the rates are, the less the demand for cars are. What did this close at yesterday? $10. It's now at 17. Yeah, this is basically a penny stock that is now in control of large volume here. How would you hedge for TMF? I wouldn't be in TMF. TMF is a 3x ETF. You don't want to hold that. It's just for short-term trades. I'm already out of my TMF. I've been out of my TMF for weeks. Yields in the dollar are inverse. No. Oh, yields in the dollar inverse to stocks, bonds, and gold. Yes and no, depending on what you mean. When yields go up, bond prices go down. Yes. If that's what you meant, yes. I can see Tesla start coming up soon. I mean, Tesla's definitely it's definitely basing in this range, right? But is SQQQ a good day trade today? Not if you're asking like that. And the reason I say that is because you will randomly just wait till market open and buy SQQQ while the NASDAQ might already be putting a low for the day, right? Like NASDAQ is down 1.9% already. I don't have a ZN play. What is your current thesis on Tesla? Yeah, I mean, I don't think Tesla's immune to what's going on in the economy. So if say, for instance, CPI came in line today and the market went up, then yeah, I think Tesla would have would also be going up. Yeah. Yes, I think it's too late for you to buy calls on the VIX. Does gold move up in a recession? No. Not in a straight line, no. I mean, you can look at this yourself. Like, just pull up a gold chart and start backtesting. Look, go to 2008. What happened? Go to 2020. What happened? Like, here's gold. Here's GLD in 2020. Right? Go to 2008, and you could see what happened to gold. No, gold is, gold went from $100 down to $65 during 2008. I want that hat. Oh, I do have an announcement coming up. We did find a new merch provider. I actually got these hats in black. I need to get some more coffee, man, before I take any trade. Natural gas at all-time lows. I'm not interested in natural gas. Where's your next ZN entry? I don't know. I'm not looking for an entry. I need to see what happens with the yields. I'm going to get some more coffee. Give me 1 second. And I want to go through some day trades and answer your questions. Utility sector calls? No. Why are you guys so gung-ho on gambling? There's like no thesis behind most of these calls and puts that you're asking me about. It's just a guess. It's just like, I want to buy something and I hope it goes up. Calls on this, puts on this. Where's the thesis? Like, show me your levels. Show me what you're looking at. Where's your stop loss? Where are you going to take profit? Is this a pullback or a change in market sentiment? That's actually a good question, Rabbit Hole. I'm going to talk about this in 1 second. Give me 1 second, guys. Don't leave me, or I have abandonment issues. 1 second. 1 second. All right. I'm back. And my eyes are well accustomed to this light now. Cool. Wow, you guys didn't leave. What a great gang. For those of you just joining, free trading mastermind. We have a free trading mastermind webinar, 7 p.m. EST, March 3rd. This is a Sunday. You don't want to miss it. Definitely want to get your name on this list if you want to learn how it is that I trade, how I draw my levels, my entries, my exits, what criteria I look for, etc. You definitely want to join it. The link is in the description. It's also the pinned comment on YouTube in the chat. So check that out. We are definitely, the Discord is definitely closed to the public. I gave you guys fair warning well ahead of time. But we took the group private. There are a few reasons that we did this. I think that, having people in there that want to be in there makes it a more cohesive experience for everyone that's already a member, as opposed to, just people joining willy-nilly. So we are a private group. You have to apply to join. And I will be giving you a wait list soon for those of you that want to join, and that way you get alerted when we open back up. I'm going to be at the Celtics Golden State game. That is a good game. I would miss the webinar for that too. Yes, I will record it. But you are already in the Discord, Jasmine Harper. What's up, Coop? All right. So you had a very good question, Rabbit. No, this is not you cannot tell a change in sentiment because the market has been going up straight for 14 weeks, right? So we didn't even break structure. Now you want to break below a major higher low in order to break structure, right? So you have a higher low here. Once you break this, then you have a change in market sentiment, and now you have gone from bullish to potentially bearish, right? So yes, that's when I would consider a change in sentiment. Now, from a macro perspective, I think that we are this euphoria here was based on what? Was based on the Fed going to cut rates sooner than expected. The dot plot was showing more rate cuts, which I didn't agree with the Fed cutting rates sooner than expected. I didn't agree with the Fed dot plot either, that we get 6 rate cuts this year. I thought, no way in hell it's going to happen. The first cut at the earliest will be May. That's my opinion. That was always my opinion. And I think that the market is now going to take off some of that euphoria, which is why I was looking around this level here for some support on the S&P 500. Around on ES, it's 4,800. A little below 4,800 on SPX, and around 475 on the SPY. What time is CPI? Go back to bed, bro. Go back to bed. Morning from Hawaii. What's up, Cade? What's going on? Were you wearing blue light shades? No, they're just sunglasses. All right. So Dixie is moving up into, if you guys are part of the Discord, I've been monitoring this 1 month fair value gap. We are finally in that 1 month fair value gap. Finally. This is going to set up a monster long in gold when Dixie finally rolls over. Now, I'm not in a rush to trade this. I'm going to wait until Dixie actually starts pulling back from that 1 month fair value gap. But then I think there will be a monster trade in gold. Oil is not directly affected by this. So oil sometimes is directly affected by the dollar, sometimes not. Like the dollar's going up and oil is going up. Sometimes it's not perfectly correlated. So you cannot look at oil in the same way that you look at gold, for instance, right? M. Kilpons. Brazil. Are you in Carnival right now? Props to you if you're in Carnival and you're watching this. When is the correction happening? Oh, my God. How does this affect the Indian market? I hope you're not serious. All right. Let's look at some levels on equities. NVIDIA went from a high of what? 746, now trading at 702 pre-market. Finally, NVIDIA is going to start pulling back. Tesla, unfortunately, is going to continue to teeter in this really ugly range. Meta needs a pullback too. I wonder if we fill this gap here on Meta. We didn't before, right? Like this gap didn't get filled. This gap didn't get filled. But I wonder if now we fill this gap on Meta. Yeah, everything's pulling back, even Bitcoin, after hitting 50K. Arista, please. I don't know what you're talking about. Amazon, I wonder if it fills this gap too. I wonder if there are bearish plays that set up where I can potentially buy a debit put spread. On open, yeah, I mean, I think you'll start to see a little bit more bleeding, but we are going to base out at some point. Apple, please. Apple what, bro? Stop being lazy, bro. If you're going to ask a question, ask me a real question. The most gangster play today would be a long. I'm gonna level with you. The most gangster play today would be a long. Now, I'm not saying you should long. I'm saying if a long sets up, oh my God, will you be rewarded? What was last week's low? It was this right here. On the S&P 500, last week's low was this. I could see us get to that level. No, the Fed is not going to talk about hikes. They're just not going to cut. Is SQQQ a smart buy right now? Not if you're asking like that. You are randomly buying it after a 2% drop. In my view, only experienced traders should be buying inverse ETFs. If you're just casually asking and you have no idea, I think you can get burned. I wonder what I'll be looking at when market opens in 12 minutes is if the S&P wants to draw on last week's low. This is our yearly trend line, which is wild that the S&P is holding that. For now, the market isn't open yet. But what I'm looking at right now is if that trend line and yesterday's low, is that the drawn liquidity for missing CPI? I would have to think that there's a chance we head lower here to last week's low. That's what I think. Call, hold, bank, Nifty. Bro, I must have a lot of stock market fans from India because people ask me Indian stock market questions all the time. Now, I know that I get mistaken for a lot of things, but there's no way that you are mistaking me for Indian. I get adopted by a lot of people, but there's no way that you are mistaking me for Indian. So I don't know why I get asked that question. Like, if people ask me about, some Latin American market or Middle Eastern market or whatever, I can see it. Indian, I don't think I look like I know what's going on in the Indian market. And you know what's funny is I get recommended all these Indian stock YouTubers all the time. American Indian? I don't know. Do I look American Indian? I've never gotten that. Drop the link for the hat. Let me check with my team real quick. Let me see if those are ready. Can someone purchase merch now, or is it not ready? I'll check for you. I promise. I just checked for you. I would be very, very, very surprised if this was the drawn liquidity for ES. NQ is at the same level, man. Wednesday's low. What is it about this level? Besides the fact that this is the actual trend line. So I wonder if this is a trap here. I'm not taking a trade just yet, but I wonder if this is a trap here. It's like perfectly on the yearly trend line. This is the trend line for 2024, same as ES. It's a trend line for 2024. This is why it's getting stopped here. You're brave for having a Microsoft put credit spread. Eres mi hermano. Roberto Falcón. Then it's a do nothing and watch. Well, at least until market open, which is what I'm waiting for. I cannot imagine that this is a draw on liquidity here. I think we have to go down a little bit more. That would be wild. You know what would be wild? And I'm not saying this would happen. This is going to happen. It would be wild if this was the drawn liquidity and then the market just kept going up. I'm not saying that's going to happen. I actually think that when the market opens, we could drop some more. Right now, I think it's holding this trend line, and that's likely a false move to give traders hope that you can bounce off this trend line. But I do think we can come down and grab some more liquidity. Meta down $11 pre-market. Yeah, why is any of that surprising? Look at Nvidia, look at AMD, Microsoft, Apple. Everything is down. There likely won't be one thing up, except for whatever that meme penny stock is. BMR. Would you still look at pre-market high and low values? Yeah. Yeah, but obviously you would have to be bearish biased. Thought CPI typically comes out on Wednesdays. All right. Well, it's out. I don't know what to tell you. I might, yeah. I might look for a gold trade today. Like a gold day trade. Let me see what levels we have here. Okay, so this is the yearly level. This is the 2024 low that we just took liquidity below, which is amazing because we have equal lows here and we just breached them. I want to see if a long sets up on gold. That's one thing I'm interested in right now. See if a long sets up on gold. See where the bottom is for today for the S&P. Does it go down and grab more liquidity below last week's low? I would imagine so. But let's see. Interest rates giving us another opportunity to enter here. And I think there's an opportunity to enter TLT. Because TLT should be down due to yields being up. Yeah, TLT is down like $1 pre-market. This is a good opportunity to enter TLT for the long term. But I think there's a potential opportunity for a trade here on 2-year futures. For sure. DraftKings calls today. What do you think? I think you're due for a trip to Vegas. That's what I think. Gambling is much, much funner in Vegas than it is on your computer chair. Parmesan, appreciate you. All right, let's see what we can get out of this. Market opens in 1 minute. I'm curious to see. What I suspect will happen is that we flush a little more. And I want to see where bro explain about CPI data. Bro, I talked about it for the last hour and a half. You could just click rewind since you decided to show up an hour late. I'm not going to put everyone else through it because you don't know how to set your alarm clock. What I suspect will happen at market open is I want to see a little more flushing. I don't know if we get to this level. I suspect we get to this level, which is last week's low on the S&P. Market just opened. And then I think that we can retrace up a little more. Now, another thing that could happen is that we retrace up for some more downside, to grab some more downside liquidity. So market just opened right now. We have this huge imbalance here. So either we come up and grab some more liquidity before heading back down, or we eventually just flush down. Let's see. Hoodie giveaway at 1K likes. I would. I'm waiting to hear back from. Oh, she texted me back. 1 second. Okay. It's not ready yet, but it will be. It will be by end of week. So yes, I will give away a hoodie if we get to 1,000 likes. All right. Joshua Gould, very good suggestion. I will pick a person at random if we get to 1,000 likes. All right, so NASDAQ already started flushing lower. And I wonder, Emmanuel, appreciate you, man. What kind of watch? Oh, that I'm wearing? I'm just going to spend 2 seconds on it because I want to get back to this. It's a blackface presidential. All right. Back to trading. NASDAQ already started flushing a little bit more. I think it takes out this level here. I think it takes out last week's lows. These equal lows do not. Yeah, these equal lows here do not give me any comfort. I think NASDAQ will take out these lows. Let's see if I can find a scalp down to there. It's very, very, very risky to try to short this. I wanted to see if I can find a scalp down here. Is this a 2-to-1? It is. What is my stop? 30-point stop. $600 per contract. Oof. Shorting the lows. I think it plays. 2-to-1. 66-point target. So you're talking about like $1,400, I think. 13. Yeah, shorting the lows is wild. Okay, so S&P is respecting that yearly trend line, and it's yearly meaning 2024. And we took liquidity below last Wednesday's low, but we have last week's low right here. I can't imagine this is the draw here. I can't imagine this is a draw. Especially on NASDAQ, I think we go lower. Take out these equal lows. You have equal lows from last week. Ah, shit. 1 second. All right. RTY might be the most interesting thing. RTY and gold and interest rates might be the most interesting thing to trade right now. We hit that 4-hour fair value gap. The thing is, it's so hard to broad long here because you have all this junk. I'm not convinced that this is the end all. We do have this fair value gap here where OTE entry is. You can actually I wonder if I can short this here. Oof, we have an inversion gap there. If I moved it here, what does that look like on the 5-minute? Woo. Man, I really want to take a short here. I don't think that this is done. But that's a daily fair value gap. That is so hard. That's so hard to short. It's not optimal for sure. Oh man, would our stop have been hit on this? No, not yet. Do you look at stochastics? No. Indian market is the best. All right, bro. Why are you here then? Yes, 1,000 likes. I will give away a hoodie. What is your take on GE? Take some breaks. Lazy questions get lazy answers. Why marketing is falling? Thanks for putting me in your Instagram chat group. Yeah, for sure. Guys, follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Free daily trading and finance content. And I also have a free investing channel on Instagram. PO3 setting up on NASDAQ? Where? I just see the consolidation. What is the first book you recommend? Someone looking to trade futures as a beginner? You're not going to learn how to trade from books, bro. Sorry to break it to you. Books are the worst way to learn how to trade. You don't learn how to play basketball reading a book. You actually have to start getting your hands dirty and using the tools that you will use when you trade. I have a free video on how to trade futures. If you YouTube how to trade futures, my video should be in the top 5. Or YouTube how to trade futures, the traveling trader. I have a whole course for free on YouTube on how to trade futures. Bobby, appreciate you, man. $20 to St. Jude's. Thank you so much. Scalped your NQ for 600. Thank you so much, man, for the donation. Got funded. Thanks for the inspiring video. Oh, hell yeah, bro. Manhel. Congrats. Was the inflation higher than expected? Just rewind it, bro. If you're late, don't make everybody else suffer. Yes, it was higher than expected. Hey, I'm from India. Any impact on inflation rate? Guys, there's a million Indian stock YouTubers. I know nothing about the Indian stock market. I'm not gonna claim that I know how to trade something if I don't. I don't track the Indian stock market. I couldn't even tell you one stock on the Indian stock market. Infosys and Tata. That's all I know. I don't know. Like, I appreciate the viewership, and maybe you just are entertained by asking me questions about the Indian stock market. But I literally see a million YouTubers that trade the Indian stock market. I'm in India. Like, I'm not one of them. So I appreciate you coming and watching, but if you ask me questions on the Indian stock market, I have no idea. I look Indian. I only look Indian to someone who's not Indian, who just looks at any brown person and thinks that they're anything. Yes, biryani is one of my favorite dishes. Doesn't mean I'm Indian, but I love biryani. Yes. You look Mexican. I think I look closer to Mexican than Indian. He's Iranian? No, I'm not Iranian. You Algerian? I look closer to Algerian than Indian. That's for sure. Black and Brazilian, Lebanese. Come to Brazil. I love Brazil, bro. I love Brazil. I'm going to be likely in Minas later this year. Thoughts on masala? Biryani is way better than masala, bro. Come on. Don't disrespect biryani like that. Ay, ay, ay. It's not just the food in Brazil you like. Brazilian food is actually not my favorite. You know, they eat a lot of meat, a lot of feijoada, beans, tapioca. It's good food, but it's not like it's not in my top. But yes, you'll eat good there. Especially if you go to a churrasco spot, for sure. Picanha, for sure. Picanha is fucking top notch. All right. You look like a freak. I don't want someone named Luis telling me I look like a freak, bro. Only my girl can tell me I look like a freak. I don't want to hear that compliment, Luis. The fuck? That RTY trade. The RTY trade is going to play. Off the 15-minute, it's going to go to this fair value gap. It is wild to me that the aftermarket open, the market is just kind of basing here. Like what I'm looking at is for ES and NQ to go a bit lower. So the reason is I'm looking for NQ. If you look at the 1 hour, you have equal lows here, right? And this is from last week's low. So I'm looking for these equal lows to get taken on ES. Like I said, I think that the draw on liquidity is actually lower. And I think it can get to last week's low. So that's what I'm looking at right now. Fuck, RTY was it, man. I think RTY gets here. There's some good buying opportunities on stocks like, guys, get this 2,000 likes and I'll give away a free hoodie. We're at 737. So we need 263 more. I'm surprised Nike's holding up really well here. I'm interested in Nike again below 100. So not looking at this right now. What is Diz at? Diz is actually flat. If Diz can fill this gap at some point, I would be interested in buying in. When is the Walmart split? February 26th. I think we'll go down after the split. Would be interested in picking some of that up. What are stocks like PayPal doing? Down back below 60. Yeah, I think you can wait out PayPal for a while. After it gaps down, it tends to base for such a long time before rallying again. Celsius, I sold calls on Celsius yesterday, down 3%. So collecting on those. And then not interested in SPY or QQQ. Man, that RTY would have played, wouldn't it? I thought RTY would go down here to this fair value gap. At least here. That's what I was looking to play. What about Baba? Mm, yeah, cool. What are the best tacos in LA? My man, Leos. Leos are the best tacos in LA. I wish we had a Tacos El Gordo here, but they only have one in San Diego and in Vegas too. Pau de queijo for me, I mean, man, that's addicting. Pau de queijo is like you can eat 1,000,000 of them. Taqueria Sanchez, yes, that's a good one too. But that's not fair. You live here, Lex. But Taqueria Sanchez is fire too. Divergence between NQ and ES right now. Tacos Los Cholos? Joe, I ain't eating a nowhere called Los Cholos, bro. God knows what's in that meat. How many languages you speak? Fuck. Like half-ass or fluent? Half-ass, 1,000,000. Fluent, 4. Chihuahuas in that meat. Ah. Hell yeah, bro. That's why. Which ones are fluent and which ones are half-ass? I'll let you decide. Yeah, that RTY trade. Even just to the top of that FVG, fuck me. You could have even targeted way less than that. 2 to 1 would be right here. Do you speak Tamil? No, I don't speak Tamil. Indian? There's no language called Indian. India has like 300 languages. Ooh, Team RP, you're very close. You're very, very, very close. Portuguese ain't one of them. My girl speaks Portuguese. I don't speak Portuguese. Italian. No, Italian's one of the half-ass ones. Say something in chinito. Soner and what is his name? Agnelio. All right. French. Es raza. Definitely not German. Japanese. Fuck, I wish, bro. Japanese is such a beautiful language. I think Japanese is one of the nicest sounding languages. I can listen to people talk Japanese all day. Bro, ES is not moving. This is very strange. This is very strange. I wonder what other news there is today. Hold on. It's just CPI. It really feels like this is the type of price action that you get. No, it's not halted. Jesus. This is the type of price action that you get right before news. But I wonder if at 10 p.m. we see a big move here. Python and C++. I learned C++. Yes, Python, no. I wonder if at 10 p.m. right now we see a big move. Senate passed a $95 billion budget for Ukraine and Israel, going to the House right now. Fuck, bro. We need to stop giving money to people. We need to make that conditional as fuck. What'd I tell you about RTY, man? That was the trade. RTY was the trade. We need to make aid to Israel, Ukraine, Egypt. We need to make aid to everyone conditional, man. That was the short. I knew the bias in RTY was lower. It is just very risky because you have this fair value gap here. And it could bounce from the middle of this fair value gap before going to this one for sure. Especially because the daily fair value gap it's already mitigated. So that's for those of you asking why I didn't take that short is because of that. Now you could have scalped it, but you would not have gotten 2-to-1. So 2-to-1 on that RTY short would have been almost 2-to-1 actually. No. I would have taken profit on that. Trump said make aid loans. That's a great fucking idea. That's a great idea. I think it should be conditional regardless. Bonds are not moving up. Bonds are moving down. Bonds are tanking. What are you talking about? Bonds are absolutely tanking. You mean bond yields? Yes, bond yields are moving up. Bond prices are tanking. That was the 2-to-1 trade on RTY. Man, I'm very surprised. Yes, bond yields are going up, but the guy said bonds are going up. The bond market is not going up. The bond market is going down. When you are referencing the market, you are referencing bond prices, not bond yields. So when you say the bond market is going up, that means yields are going down. That makes sense? This could be an epic long here. Wow, there's hella divergence between NASDAQ. Okay. So NASDAQ and ES. ES is weaker, right? Making lower lows. NASDAQ is making higher lows. NASDAQ is stronger. I really want to see if I can scalp along from here. I'm going to try a very, 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 very tight stop on the scalp. Oh, it's up 200 already. I'm just going to leave it be. I have a super tight stop. So it either rockets up from here to 17,685 or my stop hits for minimal loss. I like these asymmetrical bets here. $210, $250. I'm going to move my stop to break even. I'm up $300, $310. Stop's going to break even. Let's see if we can get a push here. Or should I take the money and run? I can't lose money now. Stop is at break even. This is a very tight form of scalping here. Up 320, up 345, 375, 410. Let's see if we can get to 17,685. Up 450. All right, I'm going to flatten this. I'm going to take my 450 and run. Done. 450 in 2 seconds. Hell yeah. You do the same trade, Jixer? Nice. Able to. Good job, man. Jasmine, I caught 6 on that with you. And I think it has a chance to go higher, but I'm not fucking around with ES still not basing. That was just a scalp based on the divergence, the lower low with ES and the higher low with NQ, and the fact that NQ did take liquidity below yesterday's low, but I'm still not convinced because we have equal lows at last week's low. And I think NQ has a chance to get there. That scalp I did like. And it was a really tight stop, so I can already eyeball it and tell it was a 2-to-1. But yeah. That was my weekly salary in 2 minutes. Abdullah Mahmoud says, hopefully you took it, bro. I actually made 220 on that QQQ trade. Yep. Yep. One contract's all you need, bro. One contract, 450 in few seconds. If you make $500 a day, I mean, you're dealing with $125,000 a year salary. For those of you that aren't in the Discord, this might seem like freaking magic to you, and I promise you that we are this precise every single day in the Discord. And if you want to learn how to trade, make sure you join the free trading webinar mastermind that we are doing March 3rd on Sunday at 7 p.m. EST. If you want to learn how I draw my levels, how I did exactly just that, what I did just now, making almost $500 in a few seconds, make sure you join that. Deliberate trades only. And I will teach you exactly what I do and how I do it. Not that it's the only way, but it is a profitable way and a highly profitable way. Do you live stream every day in the Discord? Yes. I live stream my trades every day in the Discord. That link is in the description. It's also at the top of the pinned chat on YouTube. So make sure you join that. What are the chances of the SPY hitting 491 today? I think it's like 48.9765873%. Hopefully that helps. Does it cost money? This doesn't cost money. Joining the Discord, yes, of course. I put in 10 hours a day on the Discord. One trade pays for itself. Are there funded accounts for swing trading? Not regulated in the US that I know of. What is that beeping sound? That's my trades going through. That's the sound of money, baby. Thoughts on Zom? Thoughts and prayers, Frederick. Hopefully that helps. Okay, that 2-to-1 would have hit on RTY. Now I'm fucking pissed. Because I actually scalped a risky trade. And that was a 2-to-1 20-point trade on RTY. When will you be opening the Discord again? At the end of the month, probably. At the end of the month. Make sure that you watch out for that. Man, we hit that fuck. I knew it. 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 I really knew it. What do you think of ARM? Thoughts and prayers. There might be a broader long here on NQ. Have you ever kicked someone from the Discord? I mean, I've been running the Discord for 6 years, so yeah, obviously there have been people that have been kicked for spam, being aggressive or insulting to other members, right? But very few. I mean, out of the thousands and thousands of members, I've probably kicked a handful. How do you deal with FOMO on trades? Experience. I don't get FOMO. Like, people are throwing out these ticker symbols like, oh my God, BMR is up. Okay, I missed it. Was I in it? No, I wasn't in it. So what can I do? Oh, ARM is going up. It's the next NVIDIA. I should have bought it. Should I jump in now when it's 50% up? No. Fernando, I don't day trade options, man. I don't day trade options anymore. If you have a problem with that, that's fine. My goal is to make you money and to make me money. My goal is not to appease you by sending out options trades that have a very imprecise way of measuring risk reward. All right. My goal is to make money. If you don't like making money, the Discord is not for you, bro. We've taught thousands of people how to get funded, how to trade futures. A lot of them are on this chat. They can tell you themselves. I'm not going to sit here and send out options trades because you don't want to learn how to make money actually day trading with futures. So I still trade options. I'm still going to send out earnings plays, swings, option selling, but I'm not going to day trade options. I'm going to day trade futures and swing options. Oof. Depends on what you're looking for, Narav. I don't know. What do you like about the company? How about selling puts or calls against shares? Yeah, we have an option selling channel. We have a whole option selling channel. Yes. Cash secure puts, selling calls, of course. Selling options is amazing. I'm talking about day trading. Like, oh, Tesla is going to go up, so I will buy calls. No, because what happens when Tesla doesn't go up? You don't know how much you're down. You could be down 30, 40, 50% on your option. In a future, when I'm trading S&P futures, I know exactly to the point what my stop is going to be, what my loss is going to be, what my gain is going to be, to the penny. Yeah, I agree, Joshua. Selling options is amazing. Man, that RTY trade would have worked out. Hopefully some of you took it. I didn't take it. I ended up risking it on an NQ trade, but I did make almost $500 in a few seconds. So, okay on that. Can people from Sweden join the Discord? Yes. About half the people are not from the US. About half the people are from Europe, Asia, Canada, and Gold Coast, right? Australia, New Zealand, etc. About half, literally. Man, that was the play. That was a play on RTY. I'm from Singapore and watch almost daily. Appreciate you, Junho. He has taught me how to trade futures. I just made 1K on my new funded account. That's awesome, Abel. What's going on with SPY trendline? I don't know what you mean. Nardos. Honestly, I'm planning on switching from options to futures. Hell yeah. Futures for day trading is definitely the way to go, says Coop. Coop the superstar. Still no day trade alerts on the Discord? Yes, we send out day trade alerts every day, just not for options, bro. Do you do swing trades? Yes, I do swing trades. Oh, man. I'm glad gold is dropping like this. It's going to provide such a juicy buy point. Why not live somewhere else where you pay less taxes? I am out of the country quite a bit, but Americans don't get that benefit, bro. You think that I can dodge taxes as an American? America is the only Western country where taxes follow you wherever you go. So even say if I move to Dubai, which doesn't have tax, I still have to pay U.S. taxes, even if I don't live here. Even if I get residency in Dubai, I would have to pay U.S. taxes. Isn't that crazy? What's the minimum capital needed for entering the futures market? Go funded, bro. Go funded. I did a recent video on this. But you can go the funded route. You don't need capital. Yeah, gunmetal for sure, man. So it doesn't matter where I live. The IRS is going to follow me and be like, how much money did you make? Oh, you have Bitcoin too? What about moving to Miami to pay less tax? You don't pay less tax. You only pay less state tax because Florida, Texas, Washington, and a few other states don't have state tax. That's only like a 9% savings. I'm not going to move to fucking storm country from my hometown just to save 9%. It's not that serious. Now, if you told me that Florida doesn't have federal tax and I'm saving 40% and not 9%, then yes, I'll move to Florida. I ain't moving to Florida to save 9%, bro. You can miss me with that shit. No income tax in Oman. Yes, I know there's no income tax in Oman and Saudi. There's no income tax in UAE, but I will have to pay taxes in American, not to the UAE government, to the American government. Your taxes follow you here, unlike any other Western nation. If you move left, do you pay less taxes? I don't know what the fuck that means, bro. All right, let's see if we can get a bounce here. SMT divergence between ES and NQ. Did we take a major level on the S&P? Not really. I wonder if this is the bottom for the day. We're already up $500 in a few seconds. Man, if we stayed in NQ, we would have got like 12 more points, but it wasn't worth it. Trust me. All right, let's see now. Let's see now. I wonder if another long sets up here. Did you know someone did a 382-day water fast in 1965? He lost 276 pounds. You don't need to do that. What was the news today for the SPY drop? My God, bro. Some of y'all need to go back to bed, seriously. It's not like it's not in the title of this fucking live that literally says CPI as the first three letters. It's literally in the title of the video. Oh, man, that trade would have worked out. You know that? We would have been one tick away from hitting our stop on that scalp that I entered. But it would be up heavily now. When is CPI? I'm going to shoot somebody. Oh my God. I do it to myself. I read these things out loud. Why? I have no idea. I stayed in that NQ trade. Of course you did, Coop. Coop is a gangster, bro. Every time I send out a trade, she's like, thank you. I stayed in. I got twice as much as you did, motherfucker. Dude, I just woke up. Not my fault, bro. Rewind the tape. Don't make everyone else suffer because you woke up late. Yeah, NQ is the one to long, not ES. That long would have been money in the bank. I mean, it was. Would have been another 500 to get to here. Yeah, for sure, Muthu. You're right. I mean, of course, got to follow my gut and my rules. Of course, hindsight is 20/20, and you're 100% correct. Abalash says, I think the Let's Piss Off Z bot is working overtime today. For sure. All right, I'm going to take another long. I'm going to take another long until this is resolved. I don't know that we close green today. I'm not willing to say that. But I think we resolve some of this imbalance before potentially moving down. All right, gave you guys a $500 trade in a few seconds. Unfortunately, we didn't get to 1,000 likes, or I was going to give away a free hoodie. We got some brand new hoodies, working with a new merch partner. New hats are coming out too. Discord is closed for now. As I said, I gave you guys chances to sign up. We are private. It is by waitlist only at this point. We will likely open it back up during a very small time window, end of the month. Sign up for the free mastermind here, March 3rd, Sunday, March 3rd at 7 p.m. Eastern. If you are not in the mastermind already, this is absolutely free. It's a trading webinar mastermind. I'm going to be showing you exactly how I trade, how I draw my levels, how I just pulled that $500 out of my ass. So make sure that you join that. The link is in the description. It's also the first link in the chat, pinned in the chat. I'm going to be looking for maybe one more long here until this is resolved. I'm not convinced that the market is going to turn green today. I think it's just resolving this imbalance. We caught a lot of the move, and then, took profits before this run here. So I am likely going to be looking for just one more long, and then once this is resolved, we'll see from there. I do think a nice long is setting up, if not today, in the next few days on gold. We'll see about that. And then interest rates, potentially looking to long the 2-year from here. So that is NVIDIA just turned green. Fucking amazing, bro. Amazing. FOMO kicking in, close the long and reopen it higher. I don't need to do that because I know how to trade. So yeah, don't need to do that. But anyway, for those of you in the Discord, I'll see you in the Discord. Look out for the trades in the Discord. For those not, make sure you sign up for the free mastermind. Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you for all of you that donated to St. Jude's. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate you from the bottom of my heart. And I will catch you guys on the next one. If you want me to bring back live trading on YouTube, let me know. It is quite exhausting. But yeah, it is quite exhausting. But I will do it if you guys want me to. Anyway, stay safe out there, traders. Peace.